I want to come back and do this particular Food for Your Soul vlog. It's about your vision. You have impeccable execution and superior vision. Quit losing your mind, wasting time on people that love to live in blurred lines. Yeah. In my caption, I wrote, just know sometimes the lines are not crossed. You didn't misunderstand. You got it right on the spot. Some people just love to take you all around and back and forth in their kind of craziness and madness. Clock out. You have real work to do. Invest in you. So I wanted to read it specifically and deliberately the way it was written when it first came to my spirit to write it, because on top of someone blurring the lines deliberately, we analyze and are so critical, and we use a lot of self-judgment and criticizing ourselves as to how we took things, and we break it down 50 times, 50 times, 50 times again, and we ask so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so, did you think I was wrong, and do you think that they meant it like this? But sometimes it just is. If you know you're not completely throwed, if you know that you don't go around starting stuff, if you know that you are pretty much a balanced thinker and a just person in your heart, sometimes your execution and your vision is dead on, is spot on. And that's why I use the eagle in this. And I say you have impeccable execution and superior vision, because the eagle has impeccable vision and superior vision. Quit losing your mind. The eagles don't fly around losing their mind thinking if they seen what they seen from many, many miles away. They know exactly what their target is. They know exactly what they're interpreting using their senses. And sometimes you have to get into silence and silence your mind to understand that everything's not a quarrel. Everything doesn't have to be a disagreement. Everything is not a dig. You have to really silence your mind and your feelings and your heart and just know that you are a pure person. You make mistakes. So I think the least common denominator is if it's something that you feel that was unjust, if it's something that is blurred, or you thinking you're interpreting wrong, learn how to ask an open-ended question, not react to what we assume someone meant, and leave it at that. Get clarity immediately before you punish yourself, scrutinizing yourself, diminishing your sixth sense, diminishing your intuition. You don't want to continually to do that, because it becomes indecisiveness. It becomes confusion for you. It becomes that you can't think clearly, and you start to think that you take everything wrong, and it's not. It's some people you're wasting your time on because they love to live in blurred lines, because they're not a forthright person. They're not righteous in their heart. They love to stir it up because they know that that's taking you away and distracting you from the things that you need to do, because a lot of times we scrutinize ourselves for something that someone said or did to us that's closest to us. It's not a stranger that can send you on all them woo-woos and wham-whams. You notice how you can check somebody in the store real quick? You notice how when you in public and somebody bump into you, or they say that a derogatory term or use a derogatory slur to you, you could check that real quick. You don't take it wrong. You go in their mouth. You be like, listen, you check it and shut it down completely. And you don't walk away like, I wonder if they meant that. Because if a stranger says something that they didn't mean and you going off on them, they're going to say, hey, I didn't mean that like that. Typically, it's the people that's closest to you that you're comfortable with that slide things in and little digs and innuendos, and you're like, oh, you go all the way home, you make dinner, have a cup of coffee, whatever you do, have a glass of wine, and you sit and think, did they mean that? Did they say that like that? Should I took that like that? Am I wrong? How many times you be tripping like that? And you go on for days, then you call your girl, so-and-so said that. Do you think was she tripping? Maybe she going through something. Then you start to rationalize their behavior and you try to give them excuses. By this point, you on the third day. You still have no more clarity than you had on the first day. And it's still taking you hours to figure it out. And it's taking hours of your time, and it's consuming too much of your time. So you need to clock out of that. You need to spend your time in productivity. When you start to spin your wheels against things and against people that you know you're usually close to, that you usually have an understanding with, go back to the fundamentals of your friendship, your relationship, your situationship, and you say, hey, I took that like that. Was I wrong? Oh, okay, bet. Because you want to value yourself and you want to value those things that mean most to you. And you don't want to have blurred lines in the people that you trust. You don't need blurred lines in between the people that you love. You need to make sure that line is always clear and certain lines are not crossed. So in order to do that, you have to have effective listening, and you have to have active listening, and you have to check your reactions and your emotions to things, and you also have to have the best and superior communication skills and start to develop them and grow together if necessary. Because every person you know is going to have a different style, a different language, a different way they communicate. And because you love them, because they mean so much to you and you mean so much to them, you want to not misunderstand. But for the ones that do know exactly what they're doing when they say what they say, I was going to say you could check them just like that stranger, but at the end of the day, they already know. So you can disassociate them from your life like that stranger and keep them at a distance because you don't have time for that. You don't. Sometimes we get up and look like, I wish you would, but you don't need to do that anymore. It's time to really level up because there's going to be a lot of I wish you would, but some things that's derogatory and it's defamation of your character. Check it in a nice subtle way. You don't check it on Instagram. You don't check it on Facebook. You don't check it on social media, videoing yourself checking it. No, you pull them to the side and tighten them up. That's what you do. That's what I do. I'm sorry. People that know me know I tighten you up. But I'm not going to make that a part of my social media brand where people know I'm tightening you up and they can come to expect that. Yeah, to get you many views because I can go with the best of them. But at the end of the day, that's not the desire and the energy I'm willing to get back. I don't want to spend my days and nights checking comments about people saying, oh, you went hard. No, that's trivial to me. That's beneath me, period. I tighten you up. We'll get the opportunity. And when we do, I'll lock in with you if you want to receive it. If not, I'll leave you where you at. But you're going to know not to cross that line with me because I don't live and dwell in blurred lines, and neither should you. All right? I hope that helps. And you know I'm here for you. So I'm getting ready to go in the lab. And until next time, God's love and God's peace to you all. I'm Ava Cherie.